Hello, everybody. Welcome to my live presentation today. It's fun to be here with you. If you're watching this live or watching it on a replay, like I said, welcome. My name is Stephanie. My blog is Crafting in the Rain, and my free class is live today on Thursday. And not technically live, right? Like, hopefully I didn't confuse anybody with that phrasing. I just mean, if you've got the free pass, you've got today to watch all the Thursday classes, and mine is one of them. So since we're still kind of early in the morning, at least for me in Washington State, it's 9 o'clock, so still good morning. And I wanted to just remind you of what my project is and what I'll be teaching you in the class. So you have maybe seen a picture of these in the group then. It's these little canvas shoes, and I layered iron-on vinyl onto the shoes. And the file that I provided, like for free for the class, is the little frog and the little mushroom. So if you want, you can craft along exactly with me and make these shoes. Or if you just want to watch the process and see what I did and then put your own images on shoes, they're super fun for summer months or even back to school. And maybe you could even do something if you've got kids who are still learning like left foot, right foot. Maybe you could come up with something that would help them remember, oh, this one goes on this foot and this goes on this foot. And then if you are past the little kid stage or you want to just make something for yourself, these are shoes that are in my size. And it's just this little line of HTV flowers. And they look pretty small, but since it's HTV, it actually weeds really nicely. And you can just put them on the side here. They could go on the top. There's lots of options. And again, you just want this kind of like cheap canvas shoe because the HTV will stick to it. Okay, so of course, as I'm kind of going through my class and this presentation today, if you've got questions, make sure you let me know. The machine that I used is my Cricut Joy Extra, just because I'm a little bit newer to this machine, and so I wanted to play with it, so I used that for this class. But because of the size of what you're cutting, you can also use the original Cricut Joy. And then, of course, any of the larger machines, you could also do the same thing. Okay, so Loretta wants to know if these would last through the washing machine. And yeah, they would. Like, it's just the same as if you put HTV on a t-shirt. And it's just a matter of, if the shoe is going to hold up, then the design that you've added should hold up too. So yeah, great question. And, and important if you've got kids running around in little white shoes, they're obviously going to get pretty dirty. And you could do any other color of shoe as well, just as long as it's that fabric canvas that's not going to get messed up by the heat. Let's see. So one of the things that I do talk about in my class is you'll see I'm using the little Cricut Mini Easy Press, that cute little one with the little handle on top. And it works pretty good. But I also recommend if you have one of those little like Clover Mini, I don't have one. Like I mentioned in my class, I had one a long time ago. And when I was trying to do this video, I couldn't find it. So I've lost it or given it away or something. But it just has a really small heat plate at the end of it. And so it's much easier to get into some of these really small areas and avoid the rubber sole that is going to like melt or get kind of like out of shape if you touch it with the heat. Okay, and then is it Rihanna? Okay, she's got a question that says, I have white shoes I want to decorate and paint with acrylic paint and fabric medium mixture and then seal it with a Mod Podge fabric solution. Can I do that? I don't see any reason not to. I feel like those materials are all going to work, or those supplies are all going to work well together. And, even once the paint is dry, like you might not have to seal it even. But that's probably another layer of protection that would work well on those shoes. But yeah, when you're working with these canvas shoes, pretty much anything that you could do on a shirt or on a fabric, you could do with these shoes, because it's basically just like a thick fabric material. So yeah, painting, paint pens. I've seen people do like designs or little blobs with permanent marker, and then you drop alcohol on it, and it kind of spreads things out, gives it a little bit of a like tie-dye or alcohol ink kind of look. And yeah, not Cricut related, but you can, oh, excuse me. Okay, not Cricut related. You can also do some stitching and embroidery on shoes. I think I did a YouTube video about it. Maybe not. Maybe it's just in a blog post. So my blog and my YouTube are both Crafting in the Rain. And so you can go search for those. And so if you do something like Crafting in the Rain, embroider shoes, then you should find at least the blog post about that. And I maybe used, okay, so maybe this is actually a little like Cricut tie-in. I think I maybe used that blue washable fabric pen. I think I might have drawn some designs on there. I'll have to go back and refresh my own memory on what I did with those shoes. Okay, Loretta, what HTV works best? Glitter, strong grip, mosaic, etc. Okay, oh, great question. Okay, because yeah, there actually are some kinds that don't work very good, and here's the reason why. You want to find something, whether it's a Cricut brand or another brand, that you can do the warm peel, meaning you don't have to let the whole thing cool off before you peel off the carrier sheet. And here's the reason why. You'll stuff up the inside of the shoe with a washcloth or a towel or something, so you have something to press against. But even so, you don't have a totally flat surface. And so as soon as you remove your little mini iron or whatever you're using for your heat source, the fabric is going to start to take back its natural curve again. And if you have a cold peel vinyl, it's going to start peeling up from the fabric because it's still stuck to the carrier sheet. So I had trouble with one of these on here, like it wanted to just keep lifting up because the glue or the heat activated adhesive had not bonded yet, and so it just kept lifting up. So again, just look for something that is not cold peel. If it's cold peel or hot peel, that's fine. Like the glitter works really good because as soon as it's stuck down and you're done pressing, you can take that carrier sheet off and your vinyl is going to stay stuck down. There is a brand out there called Polytech, and they make a turbo. I think it's called Turbo Flex, and I think you can find it on Amazon now. But you only need to press it for like 3 to 5 seconds, so it sticks down really fast, and then you can peel the carrier sheet right away. So that's a brand that I really like to recommend if you're working on, uneven surfaces, or you have a large quantity of things, and so you don't want to spend, 30 to 40 seconds on each press. Having a really short press time can speed up a large project. So that's my recommendation there on maybe even more than you wanted to know about types of HTV that will work. Okay, Rihanna has another question. Could I use inkjet printable HTV? So I'm going to answer this with I think so. I haven't done it personally, and so I can't speak from a personal experience. But again, I would check and see on the printable HTV that you have, does it tell you need to wait for a cold peel, or can you do like a hot or warm peel? That's going to be the biggest indicator on whether or not you'll have success with that. But as far as durability, that should stick to a canvas shoe just fine. So, if you have some on hand and want to try it, I would love for you to go kind of run that experiment and then come back to me and let me know. I'll bet something like that would be really cute. You could get a lot of fun detail on something that's printed. Okay, so that's kind of like the overview of what you're going to find in my class. Like I said, the two designs there, the little frog and the mushroom, are included with the class. And then just like I said, I mentioned I have a YouTube, and between last year and this year, I'm really trying to like get it ramped up and going. My three main topics that I do videos about are, of course, Cricut, and then also resin and laser projects. I've got a couple of different lasers, and so I do some engraving and cutting, acrylic and wood. And sometimes I'm making just fun decorative things, and sometimes I'm making useful things. I've laser cut some little storage things that have been helpful around my craft room. Let's see, you can see, oh, I've got my sides mixed up. Okay. Because of the way that I'm looking at the screen. So I recently got into like making these polymer clay earrings. I think they got really, really popular during the pandemic. And I was kind of a latecomer to that new craft, but recently I've been playing with it, having a lot of fun. And one of the things that I do, so, you roll out the clay and you use your little cutters. They're like mini cookie cutters, right? And then you have to bake it to like kind of cure the clay. And a lot of times there's a little bit of like a rough outline edge around the shape. And so I have this little like nail buffer tool that I plug in, and it spins like the end of a drill or something to just kind of smooth out those edges really quick. And it can make a mess. Like it creates dust. I don't want that up in my face or, all over my table. So I actually built myself a little like sanding box. It's got 2 holes in the side and a little piece of acrylic on the top so I can see through it. I can stick my hands in the side. And if you go look on my Instagram right now, it's Steph_crafting_rain. So that's my Instagram. And my 2 most recent reels are the whole process, like start to finish, of making a pair of earrings. And you can see this little sanding box featured. And I think in part 2. Anyway, so back to my YouTube channel, like those are the kinds of things that you're going to see on there: laser, resin, and Cricut. And then if you like to get little tips and tricks and new ideas for things with your Cricut, but like them in little short bite size kind of quantities. Maybe you don't feel like you always have time to sit down and watch a whole video or read a whole blog post. I probably about 3 months ago, I started a new email series that I call the Cricut Minute. And every Tuesday, I just email out a short tip about something related to Cricut. So it just, it takes maybe like a minute to read. It's not, linked to something else. I have a lot of emails that I send out. They're like, okay, read some more about this on this blog post, or join me at this class that I'm teaching. But these emails are very specifically like, just read it here in your inbox. If you knew this information already, fine. If this is new to you, hopefully it's useful. So it'll be little things like, in Design Space, this is how you can change your background color of your canvas, and this is why it's useful. Or you can rename the layers of your project in Cricut, so it doesn't just all say, attach, result, weld, result, attach, result. You can name those so that you know what your, what each of those coordinates to on your mat or on your canvas in Design Space. And then sometimes I talk about specific products, tips for using iron on vinyl, or another one that I could use for like a future topic would be, okay, like what's the difference between hot and cold peel, and when would you want to use one or the other? It doesn't matter. So if you have like any topics, you're like, oh, I'd love just some little tidbits of information about this, or could you explain this thing? Like, shoot me an email, or go sign up for that. And you'll start to get those in your inbox. And in every email that I send out, I also have a link to, I put all of the past emails on a page. Some people have asked for that, like, hey, where can I see the previous ones? Or, I just signed up and now we're on week 14. Where can I see the last ones? So that's an option as well. Okay. Oh, Loretta, great question. That's something that I should have pulled up before. Let me find really quick. You know what? I think probably the best way to do it, just here on my homepage, there's a big blue box in the middle where you can sign up for my email newsletter. And I'm going to put that in the chat here. Okay, so that's probably the easiest way to do it. Just go to my homepage and find that big blue block that asks you to put in a name and an email address, and you'll start getting those Cricut Minute emails. You can watch for the next one next Tuesday. All right. If there's any more questions, of course, add them in, and Erin is, kind of behind the scenes helping me see all those questions as they come in. Okay, man-made crafts. Oh, that's a cute name. I like that. Does HTV get too old to use? I have not had any problems with using HTV that I've had around for a while. It's possible that, over many years, or, if you have it stored someplace where it's getting a lot of direct sunlight or something, that's probably not great for it. Over time, that adhesive may start to degrade a little bit. But I say that in general, anything that you've got, even if you've had it for a long time, should still work and should hold up just fine for the longevity of a project. If you discover that you've got something that just won't stick down, then swap it out for another piece. But I haven't ever had a problem with, running into an older vinyl and having it not work or come off in the wash. And I've definitely had some iron-on or HTV pieces that I've had for many years. Some of you are probably also like me. You've been doing Cricut crafts and collecting craft supplies for a long time. So that's kind of my educated guess. And just from my experience, I haven't had any that I'm like, oh, this is too old to use it. It's not working. Okay. Loretta wants to know, what is my favorite project to make? Let's see, I'm probably going to say shirts are still probably my favorite project to make, just because I know it's going to be useful, right? Whether I wear it or my kids wear it, or I've made shirts for, friends to go on their, family Disney trips or something else. And I really like just kind of knowing those are going to go out into the world and make somebody happy wearing it, or, somebody made tell them oh, I really like your shirt, something like that. So that's probably my favorite kind of go-to is any kind of shirt. And then, I'm always trying new stuff too, right? Will HTV stick on this? Can I use vinyl with any of my, laser acrylic or resin projects? So it's kind of nice to have those standards that you like, and then lots of ways to experiment as well. Oh yeah, okay. So Manman is saying, thanks for the comment on my name. I have a dream to start a reel channel. Oh, you definitely should. I have had a YouTube channel for, I don't know, 7 years or something like that, maybe even longer. The first few videos I just have hidden. They were little things of my kids that I was sending to family. And then when I went back to school, I had to do some video projects to share with classmates. And so those are old hidden videos. But yeah, it was kind of slow going to really decide okay, do I want to, really try this thing with YouTube and see who I can reach. And yeah, it's kind of slow, but it's totally rewarding too, because I feel like YouTube gets more comments now than, I mean, certainly than blog posts, and sometimes even more than Instagram, because a lot of times people are going to YouTube to learn something, right? They want to know how to do something, how to fix something, how something works. And so as you're doing videos that, show these projects and answer those questions, people often say, oh, yeah, this is great, or, thanks so much, or this is just what I was looking for. And I'm obviously not the only one doing Cricut or craft videos on YouTube. And lots of my friends have much bigger channels than I do. And that's totally fine. Like, sometimes people teach and learn in different ways. Sometimes you're going to just have a different spin on something. So I'll be like your little cheerleader in the background. If you get that channel started, please message me and I'll make sure to go subscribe to your channel on YouTube. I think it's a fun place to be. Let's see. Okay, so let me give you like just one more little kind of background thing about me too. I mentioned like I've had a YouTube channel for a really long time. My blog I started all the way back in 2011, and I called it Crafting in the Rain because my family had just moved from Utah to the Pacific Northwest, to Washington State. So I was kind of going from like this desert area to like a really, cloudy and rainy sort of climate. And was kind of feeling like, okay, like how do I be okay with this? How do I get used to it? And I am used to it now. And when we have hot weather, it totally takes me out. So that's where my blog name came from, Crafting in the Rain. And it's been, DIY projects from different houses, projects I did with my kids when they were little. They don't really appear so much anymore that they're older, but I still have my crafts that I do, and that's been really fun. Okay, so somebody was asking where do I get my shirts? Let's see, there's a few different places. I mean, honestly, if you need something quick, then either Michael's or Hobby Lobby. They've got a really good selection of colors and, a couple different like styles, sweatshirts, long sleeve, short sleeve. So if you've got to go get something like, hey, I need like a really quick turnaround on this, those are great places to go. Other than that, you can do you can find some pretty good deals on places like Jiffy Shirts or Bella Canvas. And Bella Canvas is one of the brands that you can find some of their shirts at Michael's, but you can often, there's just way more styles and colors, and sometimes they have kind of bulk deals and stuff at Bella Canvas. Their shirts are just they're really comfortable to wear. They're not just the typical is it Glidden or Gildan? I feel like I always mix up like that t-shirt brand. It's another really popular one. It's what you can find at Michael's. But they just feel very boxy, right? Like the neck is kind of tight, and it's just, isn't usually super flattering, but is, fine if you're just like, hey, I just need a plain basic t-shirt. The Bella Canvas have got a lot more styles and often, what feels more flattering on like our bodies, I feel like. Yeah, I know. Elena, you can see my cat jumping around here. We have two cats. And just from watching her jump in the background, I can't tell which one it is, but I think it's Luna. We have a Luna and we have a Stella. So those are your cats, or I mean, those are my cats. And then I wanted to ask all you guys, who else has cats who like magically show up and want all your attention as soon as you've got, all your project like spread out on your table? I feel like that's like the time that my cats show, like I haven't seen them all day, and then I get my vinyl out and and they show up. Okay, yeah, craft room cat, yes. Okay, Kelly, you've got a little dog. We have a dog too, a little Chihuahua. So it's funny. She's about the same size as our cats. we have just 3 9-pound animals. The dog will sometimes come and hang out with me up here, but she just sits by my feet, likes to pretend that she's protecting me from something. But yeah, the cats are for sure up, in my project and in my face. Yeah, we've got. Let's see. Yeah, Rhonda's got a dog. Man-Made Crafts has doggies. Okay, yep, Loretta's got Cecilia. Becky and Rihanna have cats that show up. Oh, how fun. Okay, so Man-Made. So you're over on the east side of Washington. When I was a little kid, we lived in Kennewick. So elementary school years. So a long time ago, but anyway, very fun. Okay, yeah, we've just got a couple more minutes for questions if you've got anything on here. Let's see. Oh, Tiffany's got 3 dogs. Oh, they want your attention when you're on the phone. Yeah, the dogs and children both the same way, right? As soon as you start talking to someone else, they realize that they need you for something. So that's very fun. Yeah, and I love how we've all kind of worked out whatever works for us, with whatever kind of stage of life that we're in, right? If we're working full-time or part-time, or spending all of our time at home with kids, or combination of those things. We've got animals, we have other things and obligations, but we still find this time for us to be creative, to put something out into the world that didn't exist before, and I love that. I love that we get to find each other through these virtual classes and summits. I see here we've got 2 or 3 people who have ties to Washington, which is awesome. And then I taught classes where we have people attending from as far away as Australia and Europe. And I just find that to be really amazing. So yeah, I'm going to kind of wrap things up here a little bit. Like I said, please come find me on my blog and on my YouTube, Crafting in the Rain. If you've got things that you want me to do, or hey, I really like how you did this project. Would this work? Or how would you tie this in? And yeah, and I'm happy to include those in my rotation of stuff that I'm working on. Okay, Loretta's got another question. What craft would you sorry, not doing great with the with the reading today. What craft would you suggest doing with senior citizens? Okay, so I'm guessing this is maybe you are, helping in a senior citizen, their group craft time or something. Maybe you've got a few people working together. Let's see. I think cards are often a really good, easy thing that doesn't take a whole lot of time, but you have a finished project when you're done. And maybe it's a card where all the pieces are already cut out. Depending on okay, so someplace you're volunteering. And so yeah, if you bring in something that's kind of like a kit, right? Here's your card base, and here's the piece we're going to glue on top of it. Oh, sorry, I keep bumping my table. Putting then a larger piece that has a sentiment on it, and then a little cutout image or something like that. And then maybe another fun thing, think of almost what you might do with a kindergarten class, just because maybe they've lost some of their fine motor skills, or something like that. So something that just popped in my head just now is if you take a piece of paper and put it inside a Ziploc bag, and then put just 2 or 3 dots of paint inside the bag, and you close it all up, and then you finger paint from outside the bag, and end up with kind of this colorful abstract thing, but little to no mess. Anyway, so there's just a couple of things that popped in my head. I think that's really cool that you go and do that. So All right. Yeah, Sarah, thanks for joining our live video. I had fun chatting with you guys. My time is all up, but I will be over in the Facebook group, today and for the rest of the summit. So yeah, I will see you around the internet and on Facebook. And thanks for chatting with me today. Bye-bye.